So guys, Keep Trade is March 14th, and we ended off Friday with a nice scale break-even win for about 44 points. Right, market just didn't deliver our full TP, and it's okay, it happens. But let's get right into my setup and structure for the day. Dom took my. I said I was looking for like a potential lotto that could be taken, and Dom trades a bit different. He had the confidence, and he took a lot more out of the market than I did, with about a 60-point gain. But coming to my pre-market plan, I wanted to see the longs come in off the open. I said we didn't have much after our structure. I wanted to wait till that news candle came out, so I did not trade. But there was a very clean long model continuation off the open. I said off before market, I like to lean towards a buy model continuation. Right, we had data highs from previous PPI and CPI. We had lots of accumulated buy side. Some of my targets were going to be here, which were 1 hour targets, particularly 19601, which is yesterday's data high that did not get hit. And these targets came on the 1 hour. Right, so after hours, we started to see buyers step up. And we had my targets here. Lots of accumulated highs. And this was going to be the trade I wanted to see. I wanted to potentially see a sweep first before we found it, but we ended up finding that model right off the open in a 15-minute fair value gap here. So coming into the market open, we dipped right into that fair value gap. We inversed these bearish gaps, which are potential entry, and we hit two of my targets right off the open. And it's okay, right? I want to be a bit more accountable, so I did not need to force that trade off the open. Again, not force, it's my model, but I did not need to take that trade off the open. Right? I'm on a winning week. There's no need to lose profits or take an unnecessary trade off the open. But again, this is a great quality model. Would have been executed with confidence. But again, I was waiting until that 7 a.m. news candle here. So once we got that news candle structure here, I'm looking at the low of the data candle and the high. So we ended up sweeping out this high, and we had a small SMT. On the higher time frames, we did have a bullish SMT. So instead of holding my full trade to the data low, which never got met, I wanted to play a scale point. I wanted to play a scale point here because on the higher time frames, at the 415 low, we had SMT, right? We had a bullish market, right? And I wanted to see draws higher, which ended up being a very smart play as we never hit my target. But we end up sweeping out the news candle high and respecting this 1 minute fair value gap. I said in the Discord that shorting this 1 minute fair value gap would be extremely risky, but the risk to reward if it delivered would be crazy, right? A 24-point stop loss to potentially make 135 points and the max run up being 116 points, it's not bad. But for me, I'm not going to feel confident in calling that out, let alone forcing that trade. So I waited for what? Some structure. Once we respected, I found a place of inverse. In hindsight, I did miss this earlier entry here at this small inverse here, but I was comfortable waiting for a 2 minute inverse fair value gap. So as you can see, with that buying structure, we ended up having a 2 minute bullish left behind. Once we inversed it, I called members to get short at the 522 entry, boom. And we also had a 1 minute bearish fair value up here that respected nicely. I did not want to place my stop at this high because I kind of knew the markets were a bit iffy. So I just gave it a little bit of room at like around 50. Just a little bit of room just in case it swept it out. But overall, we entered. And then I wanted to find a place to scale. So I took these 1 minute low. And I found a scale point here. So I got my trade short. Pretty nice delivery. I think it was about 40 some points, 47 points. Once we hit that scale point, I ended up moving my stop down in profit just to this high. So then if it got stopped down in profit, which it did, it would cover my commission. The max run up on this trade was around 80 points. But again, data low for me is going to be my narrative trade. It's going to be my full TP. So I'm going to not think about the money. I'm going to stick to my plan and trade the chart. And I traded the chart and we did just well. That is a very simple recap for you guys today. That is all we did. Had a minor SMT at the highs. News candle came in. Swept out the news candle high. Just because we sweep the high does not mean we automatically run the low. I waited for structure. I started to form 1 minute structure, seeing the rejection off the 1 minute, seeing us inverse this 1 minute bullish, which should be, earlier entry. I think I just missed it, but could have been a way better entry. And then we did what? We displaced. We left the 2 minute bullish here, inverse. Then I grabbed my short, placed my stop. Usually I put my stop at this wick, but I gave it a little bit of room just in case. And again, because we have the higher time frame SMT between the 4:15 a.m. low, which did not get swept on NQ, it swept on ES. I wanted to play a scale point instead of holding the full TP. So I ended up finding a scale point at these lows, scaled 47 points, and rest out in about 5 points in profit to cover the commission for the trade. Very beautiful. And that is all we do for Friday. We focus on one trade, as always. Anything above 20 points for me is a good trade. So I took a 40-some point trade. Overall, it's a great day and a great week. But that's going to be it for March 14th. A very simple recap for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you want to join the Discord, we have a link in the bio. We'd be happy to have any and all new members. But until next time, guys, peace out.